Hello everyone, my name is Dylan McLeod. I recently did Synarchy's Journey into the Divine 3-day meditation experience. It was an online workshop. Although it was online, the experiences I had were very, very life-changing, to say the least. And so I'm going to be explaining a little bit more of just one of the many events that I experienced in the 3-day. This was when we were first traveling to the different worlds, beginning in the plant world. And for me, this one was very visual. A lot of the weekend actually wasn't too visual. I was in yoga nidra a lot of the times during the weekend. Quite honestly, it would become like too much, and then I would just like go into yoga nidra so I could process whatever was happening. And so from the first one, I was actually really tired before this channeling. I even wrote in my journal, I was like, this was really intense, and I feel very tired and my brain's kind of mushy, but I'll just give it a shot. And I think it was just because there's so much high energy, and I was just like, oof, from it all. So starting in the plant world, I got the visual of us all in the waterfall, and I could very clearly see what was going on. I could see how beautiful the light was reflecting off the water, and I could see the plants all around us and how it was so inviting, and I don't know, just very like nurturing, I would say. And I totally saw the Garuda coming in, and I went up to the Garuda and put like my hand on it and had like a moment with it and thanked it, and was very glad to see it. And I didn't have I couldn't really visualize the herbs that I needed in particular for the healing of my body, but I took the wooden bowl of green juice, and every time I drank it, I could feel almost like a cleansing in my body. And it was funny, it just kept refilling itself. It would just kept refilling over and over again throughout the duration of the trip when I had it with me. And I got on the Garuda, and then we went to the next world, which I believe was the animal world, and there I saw everyone interacting with their animals and how happy, and it was almost like a bunch of children just playing with their favorite animals. So that was very beautiful to see. And I came to my animals, and actually two of my animals, I saw the white horse, and that one came with me, but two were, one was a lizard and one was a dragon. They're actually both dragons, come to find out later, but one of them is a shapeshifter, so it was just a lizard initially, and the other one was a dragon that could change size. So picture like a really small lizard, like a couple inches, and then a dragon probably about the size of a bird, like a bigger bird, and they both sat on my shoulders, which was interesting. So I'm on the horse now with my green juice and my dragon and my lizard, and we get on the Garuda, and we're off to the next world. So when I met with this ancestor, that actually came up. He told me about how part of my ancestor, I could feel that I came from like this almost empire, like this business empire that was built. And he told me that I was a prince from royalty and helped build a financial empire. And this is just what I wrote in my notes right after. And I said, he also told me that I have everything inside of me that I need to build wealth. And he just reminded me, like, he said, I have the key within. And from that, I felt like so much love, and I almost felt like maybe a little bit of a release through me. And I couldn't really clearly see what that meant, but I felt the effect from it. And so I thanked him for that sharing with me, and then got back on the Garuda and off to the next world. And the next world was the god/deity world, I believe. And that was where we had the opportunity to talk to whichever god we would wanted to. And so when we first came in, I could clearly see like how it was this lightish blue color, and to me at least, when we were flying in, it was like this big open space, and there I could see like a bunch of the different gods. Like I saw Buddha, I saw Jesus, I saw all these different gods. They're all like commingling. First I was like looking at Jesus and Buddha, I was like, wow, like these are incredible people to be seen in the first place. I would love to get blessed by them. And I wanted to meet the master, like someone who mastered all the elements. To me that was very intriguing, and the elements have been very relevant in my life. So I wanted to meet that person who mastered all the elements within, almost like an avatar, as you could say. And so when that happened, it was like, boom, like he appeared in front of me. Like I had the thought and then he appeared in front of me. So I had asked if he could bless me with the information of the elements, just put it into my body. I just wanted to be blessed with information of the elements. And so he took his hand and like both hands, put one on my chest, one on my forehead, and then like sent like this intense amount of energy through me. And it was, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. Like I felt so much love. I felt almost like a tingly, I could totally feel all the, I don't know, energy moving through my whole body. And then he kind of looked at me, smiled, and then I asked him if he wanted to join us on the next ride to the following world, and he agreed. And I actually called all 4 archangels and asked them if they would be willing to come with me as well, as to help hold the space and whatnot. So, and they all came along. So I had all 4. It was funny to me thinking about it, getting back on the Garuda, like having this mini entourage, you know, of got my green juice, my animals, all these gods. Now it's kind of like, this is a very surreal moment, but here we go, and we're getting on this giant golden bird, and it was very beautiful. And so off to the next world. And I think this was about the time when we're going through, I think you said, all the galaxies. I remember very clearly being in space and seeing like the beauty of space. And at one point, I think we were mentioning when we were going to the golden world and like the golden eyes looking into ours. I remember that very clearly happening, but this was also while we were still flying. Like I remember feeling like this very intense golden light come into my eyes, and then it slowly like came into my whole body and like transitioned, and I don't know, I guess filled me up, and then came back out of my eyes. And like first I was receiving it, and then I was sending it out, and then afterwards my eyes almost turned into this, like into the galaxy. Like if you were to look into my eyes, it was like I had these galaxy eyes, which was very intense. And I remember I felt like this very deep peace and ease, and I felt like I had this new channel kind of open through me in terms of up to the higher worlds. And I do remember landing in the golden worlds and kind of exploring almost. And I remember when we first got there, I quickly went off and found a gift in the golden worlds, and so I got a gift and brought it along. And then I remember eventually going into Yoga Nidra, very full of love, very at ease, and very just grateful. That was how that whole experience went. And a little bit mind blown after I, actually came out of it and was like, what was all of that, During one of the chakra meditations, actually, I think it was when we got to around the heart chakra, when we were breathing into each one. I remember that one in particular, it was almost like I just like my whole body just kind of like completely disappeared, and I like everything kind of went out, and it was almost as if I was in this stars, galaxy, giant black space that was very full of light, and I could just like feel like the essence of where I was, like my physical form was, but I was very out and just like totally not like thinking about, oh, I'm sitting on a couch in a room, or oh, I have headphones in. Just like all of that was gone. It was just like I felt very open, and that was when it happened. And then it would kind of continually happen after each. It tended to happen when I held my breath at the end, when we'd go through the breathing and then would hold. That's when it would happen for me, almost at each chakra every time. And it still happens now when I do the chakra meditations. That was when we were in Goloka with Krishna and Radha, I remember in particular. And it was actually the one that I remember most clearly is when we were dancing. It was after one of the journeys, and when we were dancing around, I remember I was very just grateful and just like, so this was, my eyes were open at this point, and I was just kind of dancing around, and I felt very like free flowing, and it was like, I guess, very much joy and ecstasy running through me, and it was almost like I could picture everyone dancing around and like very childlike, and it was very just like freeing and loving, and it was a lot, and it was very, I just remember like just kind of having this grin on my face the whole time while it was happening. And you know, we come out of it, and I was like, what a wild ride. And there's a few times I would say that happened during the meditations themselves, but I felt a lot of the time, it's funny, I feel like I could feel the energy come through me, but sometimes it will be too much, and then I'll just go into yoga nidra, which happened a few times. I could feel like a lot of energy coming from my heart in particular. It was just like, it was almost like thumping. And as I was going on, I could feel like my heart kind of expanding more, and I'm starting to tear up. Like, I'm getting really emotional over this, and like thinking, like I could really just feel the beauty of the words and like the experience come through me, and I could feel this expansion of my heart. And it was weird because it was like a dual experience. Like I could feel the joy and the beauty and the bliss, but I also felt kind of like this underlying sadness, like because in the 35th city is talking about like it's bringing all your energy back to your heart, and it's like a merging of the mind and the heart, and how it's a tough process because you're like purposefully dissolving your mind almost in a way, not like completely getting rid of it, but you're in a sense getting rid of the ego. And I could almost feel like the sadness of telling like there's something coming to an end, but there's also this very beautiful experience I'm feeling coming from my heart. My body's shaking a little bit because there's a lot of energy, and not even in a meditation. And so this was just like a very overwhelming experience. And so I kind of like settled into it more, and I could feel like the energy from my heart sink down into the earth, and like I felt almost like the expansion. I could feel like, I almost felt like my presence, and I could feel the presence of the island I was on,